sorry I'm a few minutes late. Thank you so much for coming on and joining me today. My name is Jolena, if this is your first time streaming, and we're just doing some relaxing painting. So excited for you to be here. Started this horse painting not last week, it was Sunday on here. And we're just gonna get a lot more detail today. Hopefully my sound is working. I couldn't get my mic to work tonight, so I don't know what's up with that. So please let me know in the chat if you can hear me, if the music level's okay. Hope everyone is having an amazing night. I'm just getting some paint on my palette. What I'm going to do is go in and do a lot of detail work. And just like I started when we were just laying down the base, it was darks to lights. We're going to do the exact same thing for our details. I'm using my Stay Wet palette, so I still have some of my palette on here from last time. We still have some paint, but I want to get a little bit more of the deep tones. I'm really excited at the way this one is starting to shape up. I wasn't sure the direction it was going to go, but I really like it. Angie, so glad you are able to join again. Thanks so much. Big shout out to Angela. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. Hopefully you're having a really good evening. I think I'm going to start. You're loving the horse. I'm so glad. Me too. We're going to work simultaneously on the horse and her hands, because this entire area you need to get a little bit darker and a little bit more detailed. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear the music okay? Hopefully everything is coming through sound wise. I think that's been my biggest hurdle in Twitch, is making sure sound's doing alright. Figuring that out. So yeah, just gonna go working around fingers, laying down some shapes that'll look all is good. Oh, I'm so glad. That's great. Work getting it'll look a little outliney, and that's okay because it's just the first layer. Well, like the second layer, but the first layer of detail. So if it looks a little cartoony, that's okay. Like I always say, just keep layering. That's what we're just gonna do. But this is definitely the shadowiest part of our painting. In here. And I'm working with a couple different browns and Deoxazine purple. It gives rich a layer in here as possible without it looking flat. If we just threw in some carbon black in here, it would look really flat. I also have some really deep blue thrown in the mixture as well. And yes, her hand is going to look a little bit spindly. I'm realizing I want the finger placement to look a little different. So we'll just move her fingers over just a little bit and add our midtones after that. Big thank you to Lillian Farham for donating a image to the Museum by Sketchy app. So pretty. It's just the perfect spring lawning picture for anybody who is stuck in the northern hemisphere right now. Hi, Cosmic Drake. So good to see you. Howdy and good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope you are having the bestest week. Happy Wednesday. I was already over here. I thought, well, let's just let him lay down. These other darks and the horse. Oh, it's such a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for coming in. Get your nice chill vibes going. Unwinding. Everyone's had probably a really long day. Still haven't decided whether we're going to leave Horse as is or we're going to up the fantasy element by giving them Pegasus wings or a unicorn. So if you have any thoughts about that, please let me know in the comments. All tips again for today through Buy Me a Coffee or sales of this picture will be going to Chris, which is an organization existing in Ohio for refugees and immigrants, and they do wonderful work. Oh, it's been a bit of a long day at work. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Hope that means your workday is done though. You can fully relax and unwind now. If you're in the middle of working, however, mad props to you and hope it gets better. I'm doing what I like to do to unwind. One of the things, hopefully, everybody else is also getting to get their checklist off of what they like to do to unwind. Right, where else in the picture do I want to add some more darks? Photo doesn't have the horse's nose, so I'm just kind of guessing on how that looks. It cuts off on the picture for a bit, but that's okay. That gives us a little chance to be doing some improv work. It's always fun. Well, I appreciate you being on here. Thank you so much for coming and having a little peep time and having a little built community right here on Twitch. here a little bit rounder. Okay. And then I'm just gonna go and add some darks. Where else in the painting that I think just needs a little bit more shadows. Really strong shadow. So you can see the reference picture a little bit. It's probably a little blurry, but this is the reference picture on my iPad that I'm working with. Oops, I'm sorry. My cat jumped off my lap and bumped right into my tripod, of course. He's up to his normal Let's Live paint shenanigans. It's always quite amusing, actually. Your channel keeps growing. That's awesome. I'm sure that they loved your portraits. Oh, thank you so much. I am enjoying getting to meet everybody on here so much. I'm finding the more I'm on here too, the less the nerves are getting to me, and that's a fun little bonus. Panther does love to paint. I have some little kitty paw prints of paint from both him and my previous cat on my tabletop, and it's so cute. Like I could never I never even want to paint them over or sand them. It's just these little kitty toe beans in paint right on top of my table, and it's so sweet. And he always has little bits of paint somewhere on his tail or his toes, where he's gotten right into things. There's some good dark tones. Now I'm going to go back and get her fingers shaped up. I'm just going to grab a mixture, some reds, yellows, a tiny bit of that purple, and some titanium white. Pretty roundness to her hands, fingers. Do you have a brush for each color? That is a fantastic question. I do not. I just wiped off the same one and are reusing it. Going to go make some dinner. I'll be watching the stream, but I won't be able to type while I cook. I hope you have a lovely time cooking. Have a fantastic dinner. I'd be so curious to know what you're making tonight if you still wanted to share, but yeah, I enjoy having you on here, whether you're chatting or just watching. It's a pleasure either way. I just hope you have a lovely dinner. Ooh, Angie is having roasted red pepper soup. That sounds amazing. The queen of cooking vegetables right here, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely perfect for a cold day. I had leftover tacos. Needed finished up, which I'm not going to complain about because I'm always about throwing together some tacos real quick. Ooh, lasagna. That sounds amazing. Very cool. Fantastic. I love we have a little cooking group going on too, as well as painting. All these different ways everybody's expressing their creativity. Fabulous. I'm just gonna go in with and yeah, I didn't even wipe the brush off this time because I wanted a little bit of that color, just a little bit lighter. So I'm just adding to the side of my palette a little bit of white and yellow, that flesh color that we've built up. I'm just gonna get some middle kind of on the side highlights. To make it look round. Give it some shape. And she does have like these flowers on her hand, so part of her hand we're gonna cover up with some of these lovely flowers. But I don't know how much yet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and paint as if I'm not covering up anything. You could always change your mind too. And just leave the hand as it is. We'll see what happens. Go with the flow type of day. Cat is back in my lap. He just went and had a quick snack and is like resuming the warm lap pose. Being involved to our little community also. And you can't really see her thumb. Her thumb is like tucked back there. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of a deeper color, some more purple, and try to give the illusion of that there is a thumb. It's just tucked behind the horse's head. As it's like wrapped around like this. You wouldn't see the thumb necessarily. But I want to give the illusion that it exists. So I'm just going to try to like build up that area slightly. Then I'm going to go in It's interesting because the shadow does, it kind of like jumps here. So this is the lightest area, but then her hand here becomes the darkest area. So I'm gonna lighten this up because I realized that when I put down the shadow here, I was like, ooh, that is actually in the wrong spot. Because there's a little bit of light creeping through here as if it was coming from the other side of the horse. I'll lighten this up. It's the beauty of painting. I think of it kind of a little bit like sculpting. So you just chisel away and then you're like, oops, that's not enough. And you chisel some more. And then you're like, oh, I chiseled too much. And then you just pull more clay into it. And I don't sculpt, I don't actually use clay, but that's what I imagine it would be like. Super malleable. Just be able to go back and forth until you get what you need and what you want from your paints. So now I'm going to take my purple, come over here and mix it with this golden yellow for this shadow. It's a very warm shadow that's on her skin. That's also reflecting a little bit of light into the shadow, which is probably will, but we'll see. And grab a hint of red. Use that red to blend out the edges. Some wrist lines. I actually was going through some old art that I haven't dug out in a while, and I found another painting that has a horse in it that I started maybe 2-3 years ago and never picked it up again. And I was like, maybe this is the universe saying it's time to finish this painting because you started this other horse painting. Maybe it wasn't ready to be done yet, or I wasn't ready for it. And after working on this, I'll pique my interest and I'll be ready for it again. So maybe we can show you guys that after this one is done, and we can just do a fantasy horse theme for the next painting as well. That one is a nighttime painting of a horse and a rider in a stream with a full moon, and I'm wanting fireflies like around the stream, surrounding them. And I don't know why I never finished it. I just must have gotten busy with other projects and forgot about it, and it just got tucked away. So it was a fun little surprise taking that out today and remembering, oh, I enjoyed doing this at one point. Let's do that again. So because this is the darkest, this is going to be a super light area, so I'm rubbing a little bit. Got white and yellow mix. That'll be a light area. And right here too. Pull some highlights in there where the sun's coming down and around her shoulder. There's a sunbeam across her chest right here also. It's a little more, actually I'm out of red, so let me get a little bit more red on my palette. I'm gonna grab another brush because I'm gonna go back and forth quite a bit. So now I'm doing back and forth with two different brushes. I really want to get this shadow area looking a certain way. So many like different shadow layers. You have a light, dark, light, very light, and then a forefront. Sorry, cat attack again. You wanna say hi? Here's the cute little troublemaker. He keeps knocking over my tripod. Okay, where are we? I don't want to cause any motion sickness. This is supposed to be relaxing here. This music is interesting. I put in just like relaxation music and it popped up like a different channel on Pretzel. Is this an accordion? I cannot tell. It's not coming through very loud on my end, but it's pretty. Right. area with magenta and yellow. I'm still trying to keep, like when I'm going over doing detailing, I don't want to lose that underpainting completely. So I'm trying to be careful to make sure that areas that I added, like pink or green or yellow, I'm not covering it completely and losing that in the detail process. I do want this to have a looser, more impressionistic feel. Some of my more realistic pieces, I want it to have like a sense of fun, whimsy to it. Alright, focus on where was I with that. And it's good. This needs a little bit. Some more shape. I need to switch to a little bit bigger of a brush. Maybe not. This one. Yeah, I just want to get the shape of her arm down. Nice elbow highlighted here at the bottom. See, just by doing that, I found another little area of shadow that we missed, so carve that back in. And I love this little arm fold because it mimics folds in her hair on the other side so perfectly, beautifully. Shadow up this way. arm's getting more definition to it. In the picture, there's some really interesting shadows happening right here. I was debating whether or not to add them, but I have to. Love painting shadows. Not. It's from all these flowers up here, hitting the shoulder and casting. I'm just gonna take the flesh tones mixed with that purple. Create this gorgeously harsh shadow. Deep so. There we go. Extend the shadow down this way. And I know we're gonna go back and redo her dress, so I'm not worried about that shoulder strap because that's gonna get a little bit of a redo after we get her done a little bit more since it's laying on top. In reality, I want to do it in that order, painted as well. So I'm allowing myself to cover over that strap without any worries. I'm gonna go back and change it before long. My lap is like completely numb because of my cat, so I'm just gonna move. Hopefully, I don't start that over. What are we gonna do next? Into a clean brush and get some more highlights done on her nails and on her hands. Go back to our original, what we were doing. It was good that we spread all the love throughout because now we have more matching tones. But we do need some more highlights. I really want to get her shoulder all brighter too. Round it out this way. Turning out so beautiful. Oh, thank you so much, Drake. Appreciate it, Cosmic Drake. So sweet. Hopefully it'll just continue to be better and better and better. I think, I cannot tell, but I think in the picture that we could do like whatever nails we wanted, but she's really pretty nails. I think I like these little pink white tips. I'm not really a nail girly, so I'm not very sure in the picture. That's what I would guess. I have like a really nice highlight tops. Line the half moons a little bit. I love doing little half moons on the bottom of the nails. I do like doing the highlights on the hands a little bit because I feel like it's easier to find where the finger creases are after highlights. And normally I do darker to lighter, but I like to break my own rules all the time. And one of those is the fingers. Because now by doing that, I can know that the creases can go like underneath those little highlighted spots. Super deep highlights right here, but I feel like it needs to be just a little bit. I'm gonna grab my other brush and then get some of like the finger creases. Love her fingernails. Thank you so much, Angie. Love that. Thank you. I'm just getting the beds, I guess, underneath where the moons are. A little shadow there. And then shadow on the knuckle. I think I just want to not put the flowers on. I think I want to just use a creative choice there because I love hands so much. And I feel like there's so much intimacy here. The way she's caressing the horse's face. And I don't want to distract from that. Even though in the photograph it doesn't distract, the photograph is lovely. I just want to really emphasize that in the painting. So I think I'm just going to leave as is. Here. All right. And I'm always like looking at my own hand for hand references. Probably have 200 hand pictures on my phone between my hands and other people's hands. anyone you would like to donate their hands, I will use your hands in so many paintings. I did one for an exhibit. It did sell. That one did. And I want to do more in that series. What was the title? That is so sad. I can't remember because it was like I spelled it out on fluorescent type neon paint on the painting to mimic fluorescent lights. I can't even remember what it was. I'll think of it in a minute. But it had multiple hands safeguarding a heart and a brain to try to mimic that we can do better. There is a better way. That's it. There is a better way. And it was like different hands coming out from the edges of the painting, safeguarding a brain and a heart. And then the fluorescent light said at the bottom, there is a better way for how we can speak to each other in kindness and consider each other's feelings, even though we all just go around hurting each other all the time, even by accident. The better way to at least try. Try to keep each other safe and cared for. So I want to make that into a whole series, so that's something else I could do on here. You know, I just completely jumped to an area that I wasn't even planning on working on. I got a little too much highlight in that eye. Okay, let's go back and carve it out again. I just saw her eyes and was like, oh, we haven't done the light reflections yet. That's going to add a lot more to our painting. And little highlights in there. But I do that. I jump back and forth everywhere. If I have a highlight on my brush like I did for the nails, I'll be like, ooh, while I have this on my brush, before I wipe it out, where can we use this? And I'm just gonna like start working on detailing her face. And teeth are wacky for me. I feel like they look so bad until they look really good. But there's like so many steps of weirdness, I think, when it comes to painting teeth. Because you've got this, you smile, you got the shadow from where your upper lip is like shadowing your teeth. So, like, I got too much brightness, so now I have to go in and create that shadow from the lip. And just soften it out. It's not harsh. And then you can like cut in the shadow, little size dots. Try to like see the roundness of the teeth that way. And just barely hints of teeth on the side because those would all be in shadow as well. I do want to get my magenta. Then I need to do a deeper shadow, like where her lip is. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of orange, that purple. Oh, the lasagna is almost red. That sounds amazing. I love that for you so much. What a great, wonderful thing to have hot, steaming hot food straight from the oven or microwave and be able to just relax. It's a beautiful thing. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely delicious. Oh, okay, you taught me how to do the bot thing, so I am going to try that again. This, so I can make a left click. I'm trying to get rid of the bot message. Remember, Drake, you said double left click? I don't know why. It is not coming off. My day's been amazing. I work with a nonprofit gallery in Columbus, Ohio called 934, and every year they paint 3 blocks of murals. We have 40 some artists come and paint, and there's a featured muralist who gets the really large wall. I'm gonna get mine because I can't get this block. I don't know why I keep double clicking and it's not working, so I'm just gonna ignore it and worry about it later. Yeah, I got to meet as a volunteer with the featured muralist and talk about the mural that they're going to paint and talk about what's interesting in their life right now and the projects they're working on. We had coffee and talked about all kinds of things about our community and art in the world, and it was absolutely lovely. So that was my day. Did work in the morning, work in the afternoon, and then had a brilliant little sesh with an incredibly cool artist who I'm very excited to meet and be friends with. So it was absolutely wonderful day. Well, thank you. It was a beautiful day. Got to see one of my favorite people at work, my favorite work people. That was fun. There was no drama, it was an easy day. And now I'm painting my online friend community, so no complaints here. What a great day it's been. And I still have a very warm, cuddly cat in my lap as I'm painting. So that's always a treat. Just getting just more dark sunlights going on our face. Okay, cut in a little bit. Sharpen the lines up here. Last night I got to try out a new ramen place. We had so much fun. It was delicious. And then go see an anime movie. Proud Dino Dance. Thanks for the dinos. So last night was pretty fun also. Actually, what was the movie called? I think it was called Arco. Arlo. No, not Arlo. Arco. Yeah, it's Arco. And it was, the animation in it was absolutely stunning. I think the entire time I was watching the movie, it was hard to concentrate on the movie because all I could do was appreciate the expressive realism in the background art of like the village and the forest. It was just so beautiful. So many hours of drawing that goes in to making those films. It's just breathtaking. Pretty amazing. I completely missed that she's got these adorable smile dimples right here. I want to leave those out of the painting. That would be so sad. And it's kind of, I find these a little tough because I don't want them to like look like deep lines or like wrinkles because they don't look like that in the photo. So I'm gonna go in and try to just like blend them out slightly so they're not like too prominent, but they're definitely there. They're so cute. I love natural faces of all ages. the different ways flesh and skin fall and stretch. It's so beautiful. Not sure what tomorrow is actually going to be. I'm in the middle of painting a mural and I'm so excited. I love it so far, but they wanted glow paint, so they ordered a bunch of glow paint. And unfortunately, the box came frozen and they were like, the paint exploded. My client texted me today. There's like the box with the glow in the dark paint exploded because it arrived frozen and there's paint all over the box. And so I guess they were ordering another box of glow paint. I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't order it, so I'm not like, because they wanted to order it. Usually I buy my own supplies, but this is kind of an experiment. So they bought it, and I'm just going to do the install for the glow paint. But that was what I was going to do tomorrow, and now that got canceled, so I'm not exactly sure what work I'm going to get into. Do you remember the exact moment you fell in love with painting? For creating art, I started drawing. That was like my first art love, was pencils or whatever I could get my hands on as a little kid. Markers, crayons, but I remember mostly pencils. I didn't paint, or I don't have memory of painting until I was much older as a kid. But I remember using colored pencils and falling in love with it, especially painting my grandparents' pets. I had lots and lots of dog and cat paintings and goat paintings. And I don't know if there was, I've always wanted to paint, but I was really scared to paint. I always felt afraid of it. But when I was somewhere between the ages of like, maybe around the ages of 10 to 12, somewhere around there, I remember my first mural experience. The first mural that I like remember seeing was in a doctor's office, and I couldn't stop staring at it and thinking about how it made me feel and how I could do that and how would I do that and how did they do that, and I became pretty obsessed with it. So I convinced my parents eventually, with a lot of whining probably, to allow me to do a mural in my bedroom, even though I had very little experience even using paints, because I was so obsessed with this mural at this doctor's office. And finally they agreed, probably because they were just so tired of hearing me talk about it. And I painted a horse in my bedroom when I was 12. And yeah, it was a doctor's office. And it was the mural in the doctor's office, it was just like landscape of loose brushstrokes of like grass and flowers and trees and wildlife. And I just found it completely enthralling. So I was like, I have to do that. But I loved horses so much. Obviously, I still love horses. Here I am, like how many years later, still painting horses. And so that was my first experience with paint. I think I did like some painting of ceramics and stuff, but my first real paint project was on a wall, and I absolutely fell in love with it at 12. And then at 13, somebody told the local dance teacher that I had done a mural in my room, and she asked, can you paint a mural in the dance studio? And I was like, absolutely, I can. I had no idea if I could or not, but I wasn't going to let that stop me. So that was my second painting. And then I started experimenting with canvases, or, which I still do this, like grab a Cheerios or cereal box or any cardboard and paint on it for practice. And then I was still scared of paint for a long time when it came to portraits, because all of the murals that I had done, none of them were portraits. And it took me a long time to get the courage to do portraits for some reason. It was a mental block, I think, more than anything. And remembering somebody who told me, you should stick to drawing and don't try painting people because you're not going to be good at it. Just stick to drawing. And that's such a silly little thing that I remember believing, because that's ridiculous. Everybody should try painting people. It's amazing. And who cares if you're good at it? Just go for what you want to do and do it. But that took a bit of life experience to figure out. But I'm so thankful that I did, because I love painting, and I love painting people and trying to capture their expressions and the moment in time for them. It's so much fun. So I think murals is my first painting love, and after that, it's painting people and animals. This is my next one. And I can't imagine a life of not painting. Boo to that person. That's right, but I am so grateful that I had a boo person in my life at that point, because what if I didn't? And then I didn't learn from it, and I didn't push myself. So, boo to them, but also thanks for lighting a little bit of a fire underneath me as well. Because I'm sure they're stumbling across my videos, they're seeing my work out on their community and thinking, oh yeah, I guess she can paint people after all. Cosmic Drake, oh, there was also a time when I didn't want to paint portraits, but something happened in 2017. Ooh, that is so specific. I would love to hear more about what happened in 2017. I'm very excited, and I'm also very excited you found your way back to portraits. Well, that was almost like your decade anniversary. Can't believe 2017 is almost 10 years ago. That's a little crazy. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put more pink in the fingernails. So while I have pink on my brush from the face, I'm going to go back in and just add some pink to these fingernails down here. It's a tiny bit. It doesn't mean much. Yeah, if you would love to share your portrait experience, I would love to hear that. And I am cheering you on from the future, 9 years later, as well as currently. I want to say one of the biggest support people. I had many support people at my family. So my family was my mom, my aunt, my uncles, my grandfather. It always was encouraging me to paint. So I had one boo of a person, but I had for the one, each one person, 10 people backing me up and encouraging me to keep going. So I've been a very, very lucky person. by the support that I've had in my life and in my career. And then I continue to have, especially through like my best friend and my aunt, who I love dearly. A little bit more purple around her eyes. Then I'm going to go back in and add some more defined eyelashes too. Yeah, having your community, whether that's your family or the family that you make out of your friends and loved ones in your community, so important. Just find your people. They're out there waiting to be loved by you and show you love. They're there. Sometimes it gets a little bit search and find to find them, but once we find them, it's pretty special. It's an adorable little emoji. I'm trying to see what it is. I can't tell, but it's so cute. Alright, I want to add her freckles. We cannot leave out her super cute freckles. Pepper them randomly across her nose. So cute. And she's got like a really strong highlight right here. I'm gonna add that. And then if the sun is shining in this way, which means there's also gonna be like a really strong highlight in this part of her eye too. Right there. here. So I'm just like trying to pick out biggest highlights. And I want to keep it a little bit brighter just on this edge. The sun will be hitting. Oops, I messed that up. Yeah, I messed that up, but it's okay. I can fix that in like 2 seconds. I accidentally melted or teeth into my shadow that I had already done. That's okay. Nothing that can't be tidied up the little bit more dark paint. There we go. Alright, and then to go back. Touch stuff. White. Oh, we got a story. This is amazing. Back up. I can read it from the beginning. I'm Cosmic Drake. To make a long story short, that year I fell in love with a girl during my first year of university. I was going through a phase where I didn't want to drop, but she found out I did. She started bringing colored pencils, paint, charcoal, and even lipsticks on purpose. So I would paint something. That is amazing. Little pebbling of presents so that you could paint. That is beautiful gifts. I have to admit, the idea of painting with lipsticks sounded amazing, so I did it, and for Christmas, I decided to paint a portrait of her. We didn't end up dating, but we became besties. In fact, she's one of my best friends now. That is a beautiful story. Oh my goodness. That is magic right there. Amazing. If you are so inclined and want to share your lipstick painting of your best friend, I would be honored to see that. That is incredible. And what a wonderful thing to do for somebody that you care about and that you believe in. That is fabulous. Made my night by telling me that story. Just incredible. Thank you so much for sharing. What a wonderful story. That is so amazing. I'm so glad you still have each other in your lives. It's so beautiful. That is fantastic. I've never painted with lipstick, but I think that is incredible, and I am so inspired now. It's pretty amazing. Did you use portrait stories? Yes, I love that. Did you use one color of lipstick, or did you have multiple colors that you used in your picture? Very curious. Either way, I think it's amazing. But so cool. I'm going in and add. Oh my gosh, my leg is so numb from my cat sitting on my lap. I'm trying hard not to move, but I'm worried if I do, he's gonna knock over my phone where my tripod is. My leg is like completely lacking in circulation right now. Oh my goodness, okay. He's trying to knock over my tripod. I'm sorry if my camera is shaking a little bit. And just reposition the cat for a second. I used several lipsticks and a little bit of gouache. Very cool. I love that so much. I'm very excited to see, like I said, if you are so inclined to share. That sounds amazing. Oh. Yes, we're going to baby hold the cat while we paint. You had to do this. As I am painting very delicate eyelashes, like now's the time I'm going to climb on my mom's shoulder. I haven't looked in gouache in years, and I've seen some gouache paintings, and I'm like, maybe that is time. But I'm trying to use up some of my materials before I buy anything else. But maybe once that happens, gouache will be on my list. And lipstick. I'm very intrigued by that. Some things that I have used to paint portraits with that are non-conventional. I took a painting class and then became friends with somebody from Germany who works in making natural inks and watercolors. Oh, you can barely hear me? Okay. Sorry, I'm going to speak up. Thank you for letting me know, because to me it sounds like I'm shouting, and that sounds horrible to think that I would be shouting during a relaxation painting. Okay, so hopefully this is better. So the non-conventional materials I worked with were turmeric root that we shaved and squeezed. And then we did concentrated coffee painting. I think that was my favorite. So it's more like watercolor, but he calls it ink. And then we made ink or watercolor out of walnuts and acorns that we foraged. And that was really fun. So I think the walnut and the coffee were my two favorites because they produce the darkest of colors. We also did beets. They're all really fun ways to get some painting done without traditional paints. But I want to continue to try new things. I think gouache is going to be on that list, and maybe lipstick too. Okay, so I think I want to leave her face alone for now and her hands alone. I'm really happy with how that's looking. So I know the flowers need a lot of work. Her dress. Oh, I completely forgot this arm over here. So we have this arm. I completely forgot that. So I still have paint on this brush. Let me get another layer on this arm over here. I forgot that. And then after that, I'll leave her alone and start working on a little bit more details of the face, flowers, and the background. I wish I had my microphone working. I would press the cat up against the microphone because he's purring right now. There would be a little accidental ASMR there with the cat. Maybe next time. Because I could get the sound from the music through my headphones, or I could get the mic, but I couldn't get them both. So I think I have to adjust the audio settings, and I didn't have time before. I wanted to get started, so I'll do that maybe tomorrow. Play around with it. Yeah, I'm gonna get her dress done too. Doing a little bit of dry brushing where I don't have a lot of wetness on my brush because I'm just simulating fuzz in a couple areas. And I'm gonna go back and put some hair highlights. Slinky is really enjoying watching you at RTV. Oh my goodness. Hi, Slinky Cat. Look at this. That is amazing. She's in my living room, which I love, but she's not on the chair that I'm trying to sit on, which I also love. So maybe this is the perfect balance for Slinky Cat. Not taking up her chair and her space in reality, just on TV. It makes me so happy though that she's enjoying it. Oh my goodness, Bubba, you are getting heavy. Cosmic Drake, suddenly the song When She Loved Me from Toy Story 2 comes to mind. I know it's because of the horse and the warm colors. Oh, I love that song. Pixar movies are the best. And that makes me so happy that that's the vibes that this painting is simulating. That's fantastic. Is Toy Story one of your favorite Pixar movies, or do you have a favorite or favorite animated movie? It doesn't just have to be Pixar. We were just talking last night about the movie Up. Like when we were talking at dinner about tearjerker movies, and Up was the first thing that came to mind. But I think Toy Story 2, that song and the scene with Jessie, I think that's right there up with the heartstring pull. Oh my gosh, I forgot her entire hand. I was like, we're done with her flesh colors and her face and her hands and her arms, and then I forgot that arm, and then I completely forgot that hand. It's hard not to cry in Toy Story 3. Yes. When the toys are headed to the furnace, I was in, yeah. I don't know if I cried. I just don't remember. It was just pure horror in my mind, thinking that this was the end of the toys that I grew up with, watching on TV as a kid. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and work on this hand that I completely forgot existed. Because I would have done that the same time as I did the other ones, like the nails and everything, and I just forgot. There's some other movies that, oh, Inside Out, 1 and 2, definitely have that. Oh, you can do it. Thank you. I'm just glad I remembered it and didn't just cover it over with horse hair and then later thought, oh, I really forgot. And WALL-E. That one gets me every time. I think that one, I think I've cried at WALL-E before. Maybe twice. I don't know what was happening. Finger is kind of pretty. We'll start with the love. Keeps everything from looking too uniform. A little bit there. There's a little highlight. There, somehow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wild Robot is my current favorite, but Moana, when she restores Tafifi's heart, it makes me ugly cry. Oh, that one. I did not see it coming that that was Tahifi the entire time. That is pretty emotional. That's a good moment. Me neither, yeah.
totally blindsided me the first time I watched it. I don't know, I was thinking during that scene, so many things. Oh, the anime we saw last night. What did I say it was called? I said it like 10 minutes ago and I can't remember. But there is a savior robot in that, and it reminded me so much of us watching Wild Robot. Very similar type character. Mm. And then another movie that makes me get really teary is the anime Your Name. It's one of my favorite animes. Okay, it is my favorite. And every time I see it, I get super sappy. Really beautiful. Now I want to go in and get the shadows done. Alright, it's starting to take more shape now. There's some shadows casting under her nails, under the horse. You are being such a baby. Okay, well, they don't just want to see your butt, so you have to keep your butt down. Sorry guys, he's like literally clawing on my back here. Oh, you can hear the purrs? That makes me so happy. I wasn't sure if it was coming through or not, but yeah, he's purring at the store. He's having the time of his life here.
I was looking at cat trees today, and I found one that I want on Facebook Marketplace because it's got the like the real wood, like from it looks like driftwood, so like from tree discard that's forged, and the platforms on top of it. And I was like, oh, this is so pretty. It looks so good in my studio. Panther will be chilling on it. And then I was like, well, will he though? Will he be hanging out on my shoulder instead, making me into a cat tree? From Cosmic Drake, my family and I love watching Coco. My dad loved that movie. It reminded him so much of my abuelita. And honestly, she really did look just like her. When my dad passed away, we made him a small altar. We don't celebrate Dia de los Muertos in my country since my family is from South America, but the tradition of keeping the memory of those we love alive is beautiful. Oh, that is so beautiful. I am so glad you have that memory of watching that movie together and then celebrating afterwards. That is so heartwarming and beautiful. The music, I think that's one of my favorite um, soundtracks. It's pretty split between Encanto and Coco. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that memory. What a beautiful thing to honor your family. And it's so sweet that your abuelita reminded you of the abuelita in the movie too. Recordarme moment. Yes. Okay. Okay, I promised myself I would get off at 10. Stop messing with my tripod. My furry little baby. So I've got about 7 minutes. I don't know if it is in a good stopping point. Pick this up. Probably Sunday. I think that's when my next schedule is Sunday evening. That's when I'm going to try to commit to is Sundays and Wednesdays. And then we can work more on the flowers and the background and her dress. And then we'll be done. So that would be like at 6 hours. It's not bad at all for a piece this size. It's pretty good. I do want to make the ears fuzzy though. I love how fuzzy horse ears. How fuzzy horse ears are, so I want to try to recreate that fuzz. Got a little fuzz on my brush. Sometimes it's like Velcro, cat hair, or fuzz. Like trapped in the paint or on the tips of my brush. Is there like talking in this music? I hear like talking in the background. See if it'll let me skip it. There we go. Must have been like a meditation track or something that had like subtle talking. I'm like, I hear voices. Maybe it was just me though. Okay, I think that's a stopping point. Next time we'll do the background. I'm gonna keep it probably pretty like this background. It's like really vague, but I do want to add some fun little details to it. And then we'll do flowers and her dress, and then we'll be done. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for painting with me tonight. I really appreciate hanging out with you. Thank you, Griff Girl and Cosmic Drake. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay kind. Have the bestest day tomorrow. Bye-bye.